Good morning, students. In my previous video, I discussed about economic reforms under liberalization. In this topic, I discussed industrial sector reforms. Means, what kind of reforms introduced by the government in industrial sector after 1991 or in new economic policy that was started in 1991. In industrial sector government evolved industrial licensing. Before 1990 was there were provision of licensing, and government abolished this licensing system. Only few sectors, few industries, there is a requirement of license like liquor, cigarette, defense equipment, industrial explosive, and dangerous chemicals. Then, after contraction of public sector, de-reservation of production areas, expansion of production capacity, and freedom to import capital goods. These are the reforms that I already discussed in my previous video in taken by the government in industrial sector reforms. Now, next is today I am going to discuss that is financial sector reforms. What kind of reforms taken in financial sector? Then what is financial sector? What is financial sector? The financial sector includes first one is banking and non-banking financial institution. Non-banking financial institution. Financial institution. Second is stock exchange market. Stock exchange market. And third one is foreign exchange market. Foreign exchange market. These are considered financial sector. So, after 1991 or in new economic policy, what kind of reforms taken by the government in these financial sector? In India, financial sector, these sectors are regulated and controlled by RBI. These sectors are regulated and controlled by RBI, which is also known as Central Bank of India. RBI stands for Reserve Bank of India. So these financial sector is regulated and controlled by RBI, which is a Central Bank of India, that is Reserve Bank of India. Liberalization implied a substantial shift in the role of RBI from regulator to facilitator. Before 1991, RBI worked as a regulator. What does regulator mean? I'll discuss it. Regulator before 1991, and after 1991 the role of RBI changed to facilitator of the financial sector. That is the situation of after 1991. What does it mean? As a regulator, the RBI before or pre 1991 would fix interest rate structure of the commercial bank. Before 1991, the RBI used to fix the interest rate structure of the commercial bank. What would be the interest rate at which the commercial bank will lend loan? Will be that interest rate is fixed by the Reserve Bank of India before 1991 or prior to liberalization. But after liberalization, the RBI would only facilitate. Now, role of RBI is to facilitate the pre-play of the market forces and leave it to the commercial bank to decide their interest rate structure. After liberalization, now the RBI work as a facilitator, and uh, give free play to the market forces, means the market will decide. According to the market forces, the commercial bank itself will decide what would be the interest rate. So we can say that the role of RBI after liberalization changed to regulator to facilitator. Pre 1991, RBI worked as a regulator. After 1991 or introduction of liberalization policy, RBI worked as a facilitator to the financial sector. Students, a free play of market forces lead to emergence of private bankers, both domestic as well as international, in the Indian banking industry. You have seen various kind of private banking also working over here, and because of liberalization policy of the government, the many kinds of private bankers also started to work domestic as well as international level. Liberalization also allowed FII, foreign institution investment, to invest in Indian financial market, that is stock exchange market and foreign exchange market. And consequent upon these changes, financial sector India has shown multi-dimensional growth and playing a significant role in the growth and development of the economy. We can say that after these reforms, financial sector India has shown a multi-dimensional growth. After the introduction of reforms, that is liberalization, the financial sector has shown a multi-dimensional growth and also play a significant role in the growth of development of the economy. So these are the reforms introduced by the government in the financial sector reforms, and because of these reforms, it is evident that financial sector India has shown multi-dimensional growth and also playing a significant role in the growth of the and development of the economy. In the financial sector reforms, various kinds of reforms introduced where the role of RBI had been changed, and government also allowed foreign institutional investment in the financial sector, means the foreign investors institutional investor can invest in stock exchange market, and even the Indian investors also can invest in foreign exchange market. So because of these reforms, it is seen that the financial sector has reformed. Now next one is fiscal reforms. Prior to liberalization, means before 1990, was tax structure in the country has been highly complex and evasive. Fearing a heavy tax burden of taxation, people would often evade tax. Because of the structure of tax was so complex, people used to evade the taxes. Now tax structure after 1991, the tax structure has been simplified and moderated. This has raised tax compliances by the government and therefore tax revenue by the government. These reforms help the government to generate more tax in the form of revenue, and because of the complexity and complex nature of the tax, and government, with the help of reforms, simplified it and moderated it. So these are the fiscal reforms. Now next reforms is, that is external sector reforms. Next is fiscal reforms. Fiscal reforms related to revenue and expenditure of the government. Related to revenue is the income of the government, and expenditure of the government. Fiscal policy is related to revenue and expenditure of the government. Students, government generate revenue, and government also expend their money in the welfare of the country, and government also expend money in the defense, in construction of roads, schools, bridges, hospitals, and government generate revenue or income in the form of tax. So the policy related to revenue expenditure is known as fiscal policy. And this policy, what kind of reforms started by the government in new economic policy, that is fiscal reforms. So tax reforms are the principal component of fiscal reforms. First, I will discuss about tax reforms. Tax is the form of revenue that government generate. Tax reforms are the principal component of fiscal reforms. Government reforms in the tax structure of the economy. Broadly, there are two kind of taxes. You must have heard about it. There are two kind of taxes which very much prevalent in our country. That is direct taxes, and second one is indirect taxes. Direct taxes and indirect taxes. So student, what is indirect tax and what is indirect tax? Direct tax are those tax the burden of which cannot be shifted. Burden of which cannot be shifted onto others. For example, income tax is considered as a direct tax, and wealth tax. Income tax and wealth tax is direct tax. Himself bear the burden of it. If anybody is paying income tax, that is tax deducted from their income, so we can say the burden of which cannot be shifted onto others, rather himself bear the burden of it. One who pays such a tax, if anybody is paying income tax, himself bear the burden of it. The tax cannot be shifted onto others. Unlike indirect tax levies on goods and services. Goods and we can write it levied on goods and services. Goods and services are those tax the burden, we can say the burden can be shifted. Burden of which can be shifted onto others. For example, you must have heard that is GST. Example is here example, and here example, that is goods. GST stands for goods and services taxes. Second one is custom duty. One who pays such a tax, for example, I will explain it. What is the how indirect tax can be, the burden of this tax can be shifted onto others. For example, a shopkeeper paying GST, goods and services tax, to the government can shift the burden of this tax onto the final buyers of goods by adding the tax amount to the basic price of goods sold. A shopkeeper can add the amount of tax which he pays to the government on the basic price of that goods. So we can say that indirect tax, the tax can be shifted onto others, but direct tax cannot be shifted onto others. For example, that is income tax cannot shifted onto others. The person who is earning certain amount of income, then that person will pay. If that person is entitled to give tax, then that person himself or herself will have to pay. But GST, goods and services tax, that is also known as indirect tax, that tax can be shifted on the other person, just For example, a shopkeeper can add the amount of tax he or she is paying to the government on the price of that goods, price of any goods. That is, so we can say that indirect tax can be shifted, but direct tax cannot be shifted. The example of direct tax is income tax, wealth tax, and example of indirect tax is GST, that is goods and services tax, and custom duty. Now next is external sector reforms. In what kind of reforms? In external sector reforms, this includes first one, first, that is foreign exchange reforms. Foreign exchange reforms. And second one is, that is foreign trade policy reform. Foreign trade policy reforms. First one is foreign exchange reforms, and second is foreign trade policy reforms. Foreign trade reform, first I will discuss foreign exchange reforms that is initiated in 1991. This reform is initiated in 1991 with the devaluation of Indian rupee against foreign currency. In this reforms, government devalued, or the process is known as devaluation of the Indian rupees against foreign currency. What is devaluation mean? Devaluation means fall in the value of currency. Fall in the value of domestic currency. Implying what is the result of devaluation? That we can say that US dollar or British pound can buy, after devaluation of your currency, means you put the value of domestic currency down, and what are their impact? Their impact is, for example, if we discuss in terms of dollar and pound is the currency of Britain, and dollar, US dollar, United States dollar, that is also recognized as an international currency. Then US dollar and British pound can buy more goods in the Indian market. Means the currency become cheap after devaluation, because after devaluation the value of currency will be down, and because of this, the US dollar and pound, if we discuss was simply in US dollar, then US dollar and pound can buy more goods in the Indian market, and this increase the supply of foreign currency into the Indian economy by way of higher export of the domestic goods and services. This is the result of devaluation. Followed by devaluation in 1991, the exchange value of the Indian rupees in the international money market has left to free play of market forces. Now the value of Indian currency will be again on the free play of market forces, like according to demand and supply, the value of currency will be determined. Presently, exchange rates is determined by the forces of supply and demand in the international exchange market. You must be watching that in the value of currency, Indian rupees changes every day. You will see that the Indian currency value, rupees value has been changing, and these changes occurs because of forces of demand and supply in the economy. of the Indian currency, that is rupees. Now next one is foreign trade policy. Second I will discuss is foreign trade policy reforms. Foreign trade policy reforms. Foreign trade, what are the reforms taken related to the foreign trade policy? Under we can foreign trade policy underwent a substantial change in the wake of liberalization. First reforms that are taken by the government, tariff restrictions has been, we can say here, tariff restrictions have been considerably moderated and for some few goods withdrawn from the items of export and import. Tariff is the kind of tax that is imposed on the export and import of goods, and after introduction of a policy of liberalization, the tariff restrictions have been considerably moderated, rather withdrawn from some items of export and import. Before 1991, the policy of protection to the domestic industries. Now there is policy of survival for the fittest. Market competition has replaced the policy of quotas and tariff. Policy of quota and tariff before 1991. And efficiency in the benchmark of growth, not only simply expansion, not simply expansion, rather than the quality of the goods. So these are the reforms under the external sector reforms. So students, I discussed about economic reforms under liberalization in industrial sector, financial sector, fiscal reforms, external sector reforms. I will next topic I will discuss in my next video.